night that simply fades away, the crest of a wave as it washes out to sea. Where does it lead to, and who knows why? The saddest melody is the sound of goodbye. The soft satin wind that leaves behind a chill, the last autumn bud as it withers on a hill, the distant drummer who tries to belie, the saddest melody is the sound of goodbye. The saddest melody is the sound of goodbye.
I'm so glad you're here. Seems like such a long time. God, I wasn't sure if you'd be coming.
I got here as fast as I could.
Sometimes I feel sorry for your wife.
Get back to the hotel.
Oh, no, not yet. Please stay a little longer. He's not going to be back for another 2 hours.
Call a taxi for me, will you?
Please.
Please.
Sure been raining a lot lately. Seems like it's been raining for a week. Well, he's been here 2 days. Would you mind driving around a little bit? Never mind, just take me to the hotel. I have to call my wife. Could you tell me where the Ambassador Hotel is? I thought it was on this block, or a block over. See, the cab left me off, and I don't recognize...
stand out in his brand, why not warm up a little, dry out? This way.
Looking for my hotel, the Ambassador. I thought I was in the right neighborhood. I asked the cab to let me out.
Yes, I know.
What?
I know what you mean. The rain is a deceiver, a veil over reality. Things don't look the same in the rain. In fact, it's quite easy to get lost in these streets. I do it all the time. So you lost your hotel, huh?
Yeah. Maybe the hotel lost me. Anyway, I can't find it.
Professional transient, are you?
I'm here for the Plumbers Convention. Universal Plumbers, national sales reps from all over. We come here several times a year to catch up, you know.
You were out seeing the sights, were you?
I was visiting a friend.
A friend, eh? We all need friends now, don't we? Want some coffee?
No, thanks. Maybe I will have a little if you don't mind.
Coffee?
Yeah. It's kind of cold out there in the rain.
Grown men shouldn't be out walking around in the rain. Even to see friends.
You live here?
Live? Work? This is where I do my work.
What kind of work?
I don't think you'd be interested, really. Just my work.
Oh.
Embalming, actually. Embalming and such. I'm a mortician. I take care of the deceased. After they're dead, I get them. That's my work. I do get some of the more interesting cases. In fact, the most interesting. Unique. Grotesque, actually. At least some of them. Come with me. I'd like to show you something.
I think I'd better get back to the hotel.
Oh, yes, the one you lost. Meeting another friend, perhaps?
No, I just...
Oh, you must have a business meeting. A seminar on pipes and fitting.
No.
1001 leaks you should know.
I'd better get back to the hotel. I have to call my wife.
Well, I was kind enough to bring you in out of the rain, give you a hot cup of coffee. Why not stay just a few more minutes and let me show you around? I think you'll be interested.
All right. Good.
My latest clients. This one, for instance.
So very interesting.
Please, let's not be an ungrateful guest.
I really should be going.
I've just begun to show you around. There's much, much more. Very interesting, very bizarre case. Her name was Miss Sibler. She was a teacher.
Kind Miss Tibbler, kind Miss Tibbler. Isn't she sweet? Little brat. Stop running! Get away from my car! Damn kids! Disgusting little litterbugs! More of you? What do you want?
expect me to believe that story. It's ridiculous.
Perhaps. Yet it's all very true.
But a woman being bitten to death by children?
I never said children.
What then?
I have no idea. I don't think anyone really knows what or why. She was very much a mess. Quite a challenge to me to make something acceptable out of her.
This is just too hard to believe.
Possibly. As I told you, I do get the most interesting cases.
You sound like you select these people.
Everyone should be selective in what they do, don't you agree? Take Mr. Growski here, for instance. He was selective in what he did, though I must say he was somewhat strange. He had a rather abnormal predilection for cameras, photography, all that sort of thing. Did some very nasty things.
Look at this. A movie camera.
Looks like Billy's still paid off.
It's running. This creep's got a camera.
Here he comes.
Is it true you killed 6 women, Mr. Growski? This one is Julie. We met her at the library. She's good looking, but, she doesn't have too much upstairs. Whoa.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
I was about to leave. I thought maybe there wasn't anybody home.
No, I'm home. I was just busy. Come on in.
Good. Thank you. Oh, it's so cute.
What?
Your apartment. I mean, it's really neat, and it's so cute.
Try to keep it clean. Sit down. Oh, not there. Why not here? Sit here.
Okay. I brought you some wine.
I don't drink.
Oh, well, see, I don't really drink too much anyway either, but I didn't know if you'd like any or not, so doesn't matter. Thank you. It's really nice of you to invite me for dinner. I mean, I don't usually accept blind dates.
How come you filmed them?
Oh, well, what are you interested in?
Photography.
Oh, wow. Boy, they're really great. Yeah. Do you have an ashtray I could use?
I don't smoke.
Photography. Well, I mean, of course. There's one of your cameras right now, just like a model airplane or something, kind of mounted right on its own stand.
A model airplane? It's more important and expensive than any model airplane. Photography is a serious endeavor.
Hey, I didn't mean anything bad, really. See, I like to take snapshots, too.
This is a motion picture camera. You do not take snapshots with it or any other camera. Photography is not just a game.
Hey, I'm sorry. See, I just didn't know that
I
it was
also
a
study
motion...
magic.
Magic?
Mm-hmm. Would you like to see a magic trick?
Sure.
You would?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would need a silk or a nylon You wouldn't happen to have a nylon stocking, would you?
Well, just the ones I'm wearing. I mean, I don't carry extras.
Darn it. I mean, I really need a silk stocking to do this trick. Could I borrow one of yours? I wouldn't ruin it or anything. You know, I mean, to do this trick, I really need a silk stocking.
How about another trick?
No, you would really like this trick.
Well, see, actually they're attached. You know, they're pantyhose. So you'd end up having to use both stockings anyway.
That's all right. I mean, that'll work fine, even better.
I feel silly.
No, that's all right. Don't worry about a thing. I'll turn my back and you can slip them off.
Okay. Now, you promise you're not going to look or anything?
No, I won't look. On my honor.
All right. Well, you know, I've always been fascinated by magic because I always like to try to figure out how they do the trick, you know, what the secret is to it. And I've been to Vegas, you know, I go there, and I've seen some of the magicians there, and it's really interesting to me. But I haven't been there too recently. You aren't going to ruin them.
Oh, promise.
Okay.
Okay. Now, this is a disappearing trick, a marvel of prestidigitation.
I like that kind.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. You just look straight ahead.
I'm going to figure out how you do it, too.
Okay. Straight ahead. That's right. Towards the camera. Right. Okay. Now, this takes complete concentration to get the full effect. Now, you have to close your eyes. You cannot see this part.
All right.
Abra.
Wait, okay.
Cadabra. Voila. The light is gone. It's disappeared. Waited until now. I decided to skip all the boring formalities. Her name is Carol, and she's some sort of a secretary or something, you know? I buy all the photography books for myself. And?
Oh, look at that camera. Boy, does that look complicated. All those switches and gadgets and buttons. Hey, that's funny.
What?
It sounds like it's buzzing or something, kind of whirring. You hear it?
No, it's your imagination.
No, listen. It's running, isn't it?
No. It's not.
Yes, it is. It's running, isn't it?
No.
Come on, what are you doing? Are you filming us?
No.
What kind of thing is that?
Now, wait a minute.
No, you wait a minute. I don't go for that kind of thing. Now, what did you think? You're going to get me drunk? We're going to get on the couch? No way. I've known creeps like you. You are nuts. Wait a minute.
It's been 3 days, but I finally found another one. She's a real dandy. You know, society type, upper crust, very rich and snooty. Kind of got acquainted at the Audubon Society. She's got the hots for me. I can tell. Probably because I bowled her over with my clever wit and subtle sexuality. Anyway, she's coming to see me soon, and I have to prepare, and there's only about 100 feet of film left, so I'm going to have to work fast on this one.
Jankowski! I'm afraid that I'm going to have to ask you if I may borrow your telephone to call a taxi.
No! I mean, that won't be necessary, Mrs. Lundquist.
I'm afraid it will be.
Don't call. You shouldn't call. Please don't call.
Jankowski, you have no reason to speak to me in that manner whatsoever.
Lundquist. Please don't call. No!
These are my customers, my clients. I have to know all about them, take care of them properly. Like this one of my favorites. Very intriguing situation.
Yes. Well, from the top. First of all, Mr. Castellucci did not hang himself. He was murdered. I found a few small clipped hairs on his collar and the fresh scent of a tonic on his face and neck, a tonic which Mr. Castellucci doesn't happen to possess in his vast assortment of aftershaves and colognes. Now, this would lead me to believe that Mr. Castellucci had recently obtained a haircut, and in my experience, it is very rare for a man to get a trim immediately prior to doing away with himself. I also found some vaguely distinguishable rope burns on his wrists and a few strands of that very rope on his coat sleeves, strongly suggesting that Mr. Castellucci had no control of the method or scheduling of his premature demise. Also found this airline ticket dated today in his coat pocket, scheduled to leave for Rome, Italy by way of New York, departing
little less than 7 minutes ago. I strongly believe that the deceased really wouldn't have passed up the opportunity of a trip like that. Now, for the killer. His name is Savio Malinsky, a rather well-known low-life type character, and the only man in this town vaguely degenerate enough to smoke a revolting brand of cigar known as El Amigo, the ashes of which may be found in that dresser top or this table over here. He can usually be found at this time of day at a filthy little dive known as Frenchie's Pool Parlor at 6th and Franklin. Well, pick him up and book him. First-degree murder. You can take him down now. He's had his hour in the public eye.
Congratulations, an excellent piece of work.
Oh, thank you. I rather thought so myself. It was not too difficult, really. A rather routine case, obvious clues, but it does keep the senses keen and the mind alert. It's something like a baseball player taking batting practice.
Or a champion oarsman chopping about in a rowboat on a Sunday afternoon in the park.
I don't believe I've had the pleasure.
I don't believe you have. Inspector Wendell McDowell, Scotland Yard.
England, right?
Last time I checked, yes.
Then you must be the famous Inspector McDowell, Britain's #1 sleuth, isn't that what you call?
There have been people that have phrased it that way, yes.
In that case, you probably know that I am
Chief Detective Malcolm Tolliver, America's greatest detective and master of criminal investigation.
You honor me, sir.
I respect you. I don't think I could ever honor you.
Right. We're supposed to be rivals, aren't we?
Oh, incorrigibly so.
Well, how in the world did you ever find me in this squalid setting?
I just asked at the station house, and your dispatcher, a nice chap, Bernie, that's right. He told me where I could find you.
You mean you didn't deduce my whereabouts through calculated assemblage of relevant clues?
No, this time I just stooped to plain old common sense and asked. I do that quite often, actually. It's less dramatic, I suppose, but much more direct.
Oh. Well, are you visiting here in America, or are you on the track of some ruthless international lawbreaker?
Oh, a bit of both, as a matter of fact, so I thought I may as well drop off and observe the master of detection at work, sort of absorb a few tricks.
Oh, Inspector, you are stretching your efforts in the art of flattery.
Oh, hardly. I honestly believe it couldn't hurt me to pick up a few pointers. After all, we are competing for the title of world's leading criminologist.
Yes, I believe someone did phrase it that way, didn't they?
A journalist.
Yes, I think it was Time magazine.
Rolling Stone.
No, I'm certain it was Time.
A Rolling Stone. It was January 7th, page 3, column 2, and the headline was in full capitals.
Yes. Well, Mr. McDowell, shall we adjourn these premises to a more pleasant environment?
Yeah, I do have to dash off for an appointment right now, but perhaps later.
We could have dinner together.
You're 2 steps ahead of me.
Brilliant deduction.
After you.
Oh, after you.
No, I insist.
Do that. That's a really excellent vintage, don't you agree?
Most assuredly. Fragrant. Softly smooth, yet distinctly melodious.
A very refreshing analysis.
Beaujolais, Les Bienvenus, 1968 or 69. No, definitely 69.
Correct? You're very good at that.
That's my job, being good at what I do, being the best.
Well, we all try to be the best, Inspector. Spirit of competition is what keeps us going, I suppose.
Absolutely, sort of, if at first you don't succeed, what?
Speaking of success, or lack of it, I've always wanted to ask you about that infamous mail train robbery. How in the world did you ever crack that miserable fiasco after letting it drag on for all those weeks with no results?
Yes, actually, you see, I had it cracked, as you say, months before. I was simply waiting for my pigeons to move into position and implicate themselves with irrefutable evidence.
You don't say.
Well, I couldn't run around naming names and allow them to dig in with clever attorneys and neatly constructed alibis. Something like that appalling situation you yourself experienced on that unfortunate jewel robbery investigation last year.
Oh, wait. That's not exactly right, Inspector. I had good reason to handle that case in an unorthodox manner.
Really? And is this unorthodox manner an American trait?
I suppose so. The Americans are unorthodox, Japanese inscrutable, Italians lusty, French passionate, British stuffy.
Stuffy but precise.
A message for you, sir. Oh, thank you, Ben. Leon? Who gave this to you?
Why, no one, sir. I found it next to the reservation book. Your name was on it, so I assumed that...
Oh, of course, you didn't happen to see someone placing it there, did you?
No, sir. I left to check the kitchen, and when I came back, I found it there.
Very good now. Thank you.
My pleasure, sir.
Something mysterious?
It's a note. Unsigned. A cryptic note.
Ah, they're the best kind.
Mr. Tolliver, in 3 days, someone you know will die a horrible death. You are the only one who can prevent this tragic occurrence. Don't you think you should? Now, it's written by pasting up letters from newspaper headlines. It's a very amateurish trait.
It does seem to get the message across, however.
Elmer's glue. Very middle class. Bremerton Paper Mills, New York. 20-pound flat bond, 80% straight pulp, 15% dye, 5% nylon fiber. Common.
I do have to return to London in a few days, but I'd like to tag along on this case, sort of observe your methods. Would you mind terribly?
Still attempting flattery, Inspector.
Not at all. I'm just immensely interested. You wouldn't feel threatened by my presence, would you?
Now you flatter yourself, Inspector. You know, maybe there is only room for one foremost criminologist in the world. But being that one is not just a matter of methods. It's the man and his methods. No, certainly I wouldn't feel threatened. Tag along if you like. I'd love to have you. Maybe you will learn something.
Perhaps I will.
letters were cut from the following 4 newspapers: San Francisco Chronicle, the London Times, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, and strangely enough, just these 2 letters, N, T, were cut from the New York Times.
Rather a slap in the face for the Times, isn't it?
Would you like to take a look at this, Inspector?
The electrolysis test for hair construction identification? Not really. I prefer the magnetic analysis myself. It's considerably more accurate. Find anything?
Nothing significant.
No fingerprints on the envelope or the letter?
No prints. Just mine and Leon's. Obviously, we are dealing with a professional.
And no convenient cigar ash or burnt rope's end to lead you to the identity of the fellow? Well, now, let's see. What have you got? You have the intended murder, and you know when. That's tomorrow. So all you have to know now is where and how. And possibly why, just to jolly things along a little, what?
Now look, Inspector. You asked if you could observe, not participate. Now, if you want to speculate or theorize, why don't you get yourself into another room and shout all your whens and your whats and your hows to your heart's content? Now, if you don't mind, I am trying to work, and I don't need all your amateur Dick Tracy suppositions and hypothetical poppycock rattling around this laboratory.
Well, I tell you what, I'll just sit over there and watch.
Fine, Inspector, fine. You just do that.
Oh, yes. I got your message just as I was leaving my hotel.
Oh, come in. I'm glad I caught you.
Yes, I suppose I am, too. My word. Your police department looks after you rather handsomely, doesn't it? Not at all like our poor, impoverished bobbies.
Don't be deceived, Inspector. My salary on the force couldn't even begin to pay for this house. My good fortune results from the fact that I have the time and the resources to take on private cases.
A private eye?
Well, you can call me that if you wish. I prefer private investigator.
And your superiors have no objection?
I have no superiors.
Oh, yes.
Why don't you have yourself a seat?
How gracious.
I called you here because I have managed to solve the mysterious case of our threatening murderer. I thought you might be interested.
Ah, yes, of course. This is the day, isn't it? And I was beginning to think you were really stumped for once.
Hardly. Although rather unique in its initial appearance, the case has actually turned out to be rather routine.
Really?
As you so aptly put it yesterday, the what is apparently murder, a horrible death, as it says in the note. The when is obviously today, 3 days after the note's delivery, and the victim of this unsavory piece of mayhem. As the note says, someone that I am supposed to know is, in fact, my yourself? Yes, me. Now for the perpetrator, the plotter, the instigator of this vicious scheme to commit cold-blooded, premeditated murder. After examining certain obvious elements that reek of ego and pride and lust for power, I can only come to one conclusion. The case is solved. I am the victim. And you, my dear inspector, are the murderer.
Bravo. Well done. An excellent piece of investigation. And the weapon, of course, a gun. The least likely weapon to be used by Britain's leading crime fighter. That's why no one could possibly suspect me of killing you.
I forgot to tell you. I solved the case 2 days ago.
At least I was thoughtful enough to change the inspector's bloody shirt. And I tried to keep the same expression on his face. A sort of clever little grin.
I suppose you're going to tell me American Detective Tolliver is in that coffin?
Heavens, no. They never found enough of poor Chief Detective Tolliver to bury. He seemed to go all to pieces over the incident. Number 4, I call him. He's one of my newest acquisitions.
Acquisitions? There you go again, acting as if you pick and choose.
I'm sorry. I shall call them my customers if it will make you feel any better. Let's have a look. What do you say?
Here's the file on the new applicants, Mr. Cantwell.
So what else do you want?
If there's anything you don't find, please let me know.
Testy little thing.
Thanks, Susan.
Hey, Dennis, how about grabbing some lunch?
No, thanks, Dan.
Come on, we're going down to that new hamburger joint. 23 different kinds of hamburgers.
No, really, I've got to run through there. I have to take care of a few things.
Well, you're lost, Den. 23 different kinds of hamburgers.
here, they keep pestering me. Good jerk. 23 different kinds of morons. Gotta get out of here.
10, 20, 25, 50, 75, $1.
You have any gun?
Huh?
Gun. Sure.
No.
You really don't have any chewing gum?
Do you think this is a delicatessen?
Slob.
Sorry. Listen, hey, look, I don't have any change. Why don't you get a job? Creep. You got me locked in! Is somebody back there? Hello? Somebody down there?
couldn't help it. Why don't you get a job?
But you have his body. Eventually, he died. Drunk, with a rotted liver. Sprawled in the gutter. Pickled, I'd say.
Mentally and physically and everything.
Who? Why? Oh, no, I'm sure you're not that naive. All these people were the victims of their own frailties. Their own petty foibles. Sibler was selfish and cold, and held a thoroughly uningratiating disdain for all people, especially children. And Mr. Growski, our errant camera bug, was a bit sadistic and totally contemptuous of other people's privacy. And our two sleuths, so vain and egotistical. Guess what became of them?
Mr. Caswell, he had no feelings at all.
He was blindly insensitive, sir, when another human being, agonized by his own pain, reached out for help. He passed him by. Poor Mr. Cantwell might have lived quite long and comfortably in another age of the world. His failing, he simply didn't care.
What was this person's fate?
Oh, I don't know. Infidelity, I suppose. Like to see.
Very interesting. Everything. But I must go in.
Not yet. There's so much more to see.
I have to get to the hotel. I have to call my wife.
Don't rush off, Mr. Talmadge.
How do you know my name?
Every good businessman should know the names of his clients.
How long did you two think you could get away with your little game? I'm not stupid, you know. read Marie like a book. All it took was a little waiting, a little watching, and I knew I'd catch you both sooner or later. You stupid bastard. Don't you know any better?
That simply fades away, the crest of a wave as it washes out to sea. Where does it lead to, and who knows why? The saddest melody is the sound of goodbye. The end of a storm that leaves behind its tears, a hope in a face as it changes through the years. Where does it lead to, and who knows why? The saddest melody is the sound of goodbye. Gone is the magic show. Gone is the passions turn to ashes, nothing's real anymore. The soft satin that leaves behind a chill, the last autumn bud as it withers on a hill, the distant drummer who tries to belie the saddest melody is the sound of goodbye. The saddest melody is the sound of goodbye.